Okay, so we're looking at the case studies that are part of Chapter 19 this week as we talk about the sociology of health and medicine. 3 case studies to consider. The first is, has breast cancer awareness gone too far? Many of you might be familiar with breast cancer and some of the efforts that have been done, the Susan Komen Foundation, all the pink stuff that you can see all over the place in our society. And the question is, does that actually help with the disease or does it hinder it in some ways? For those of us who have family members who have dealt with cancer and so forth, there might be a lot of information here we can apply. So I think as appropriate, some of us may want to chime in on this particular topic for those of us who've had the unfortunate experiences with cancer. Second is the medicalization of sleeplessness. It seems like sleep clinics and, say, the diagnosis of sleep apnea have increased over the years, and these could be called diseases of modernization, perhaps a result of modern living and conditions, maybe staying up late at night looking at screens, which I'm guilty of myself. The chapter, though, takes issue with the prescribing of sleeping pills. If you've heard some of the horror stories about some of these sleeping pills, literally people turn into zombies at night. They get in their cars and they drive 10 miles without knowing it. Clearly, there's a concern about some of these prescriptions. So there's an argument, I think, being made in this chapter about whether or not we've gone too far. And the last case study is on obesity. Now, obesity is an interesting issue in the United States. When we think about the American diet, there are a lot of concerns about its lack of quality. On the other hand, when we get into obesity, we get into body image, and we sometimes get into body shaming and fat shaming. And it seems for a lot of people like it's okay to make fun of other people for their body weight. And it could be not just being considered larger, but also really small, being a very small body size. So I think this will be a good conversation for us to have this week about a number of different issues here in terms of healthcare. And in addition, I may add some other topics. Feel free to bring in your own perspectives. I think you'll have a lot to say this week about your perceptions of healthcare, healthcare insurance, prescription drugs, eating and diet as they may connect to health and so forth. So a lot to think about this week as we focus on Chapter 19 and complete some of our discussion posts as well.